What's happening, YouTube? Last speech back, man. First off, I'd like to say shout out to the brother over at Too Raw for TV, because this is what brought this to my attention. But apparently, Lebron James, right, who's a guy right now that's being touted as, like, the greatest of this past generation, and everything like that, was on the Pat McAfee show. And on that show, he claimed that Giannis Antetekoumpo of the Milwaukee Bucks, would score 250 points, if he played in the 70s. He would score 250 points in a game, one single game if he played in the 70s. It said it in this real condescending manner in which, the 70s, those guys, but, and right there, listen, man, that's the thing. I'm not one of those guys that goes at LeBron. But you know what? I'm starting to see why LeBron has this much hate with him. And really, without going all into the fact that that's absolute bullshit and all of that kind of stuff, I'm just going to say something real simple. And this is why LeBron James, as his legacy moves on and everything, this is one of the reasons why this guy will never be revered the way Michael Jordan is. He will never be revered the way Kobe Bryant was. You know why? Because one could argue that both Kobe and Mike, in their own ways during their own time, were just real assholes. Like Kobe Bryant, majority of his career, until later we started to see how articulate he was and how much he loved the game was in a way an asshole towards the guys, his opponents, and so on. LeBron James, though, is like the opposite. He's like this guy that wants to appear to be so, nice and all of that. He doesn't even really have rivals. Like, this dude would actually play with guys who beat him. And he would play with Steph Curry and all of that. That's like the image he puts out. But at the same time, he's disrespectful, man. He's disrespectful to the game and to those who set him up and facilitated the means for him to be who he is. Totally disrespectful towards that. This dude, his whole time, his whole career was just totally built on and the intention of trying to surpass Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, who, like, I could go on for hours as far as what he did for the game. This dude's whole thing, his whole gimmick, was all about just trying to surpass him from the beginning. And that's why he hasn't been able to. Because those type of intentions are evil intentions. Those are bad intentions. You never heard Kobe Bryant ever speak disrespectfully about players in the past. Kobe Bryant gave homage to guys like Michael Jordan. Kobe Bryant gave homage to guys like Reggie Miller. He paid, even though he tried to kill him in the game, but he paid homage to those guys that came before him. The Rick Barrys, the Jerry Wests, the Elgin Baylors, the Julius Irvings, all of these guys. You never heard Kobe Bryant disrespect none of these guys that came before him. Even if in his heart he felt like he would bust their ass or whatever, because let's keep it real. Kobe felt like he'd bust anybody's ass. That was just the way he was wired. That was his mindset. That's what made him as great as he was. Even Michael Jordan, with all the accolades that he had, with all the money that he made, with all the endorsements that he had, with everything that he brought to the game, the sneaker sales, everything. You never heard Michael Jordan disrespect players from the past. Ever. You never heard him do that. You never heard him disrespect an era. Whenever Michael Jordan would speak on, the great Bill Russell, or the great Sam Jones and those guys who played with Bill Russell, he always spoke with the most respect. Or the great Oscar Robertson and players like that. Mike would be honest. He would say, we don't know. I never played against them, so I don't know. And that's the reality. If you're an athlete, that's the truth. All that shit, all that stuff is going to be proven on the court. All that gifted gab and all that talk, that ain't what it's about, man. It's about what you do on that court. And for any of you who want to say, well, the old heads, they always shitting on them, so LeBron got the right to clap back. Nigga, you need to reevaluate. I'm not going to go off on y'all, but y'all need to reevaluate how these things work. First of all, those are your elders. Those are the guys that came before you. What you got to do is find within yourself humility towards your elders. If you don't understand that, you don't understand the first thing about anything that got to do with nation building, how you're going to move forward successfully, about knowing what the past was and how to put together a plan towards the future. Us as a people, we were a people that almost damn near worshiped our ancestors, man, because they understood something about the energy and what the ancestors had laid the groundwork for. If you disrespect, would you disrespect your own, like, father, your own grandfather, your own grandparents, and so on, in a biological sense? If you're a healthy person, no, you don't. No, you don't. So in the same way, when you're dealing with any particular science, man, or even sports, you don't disrespect those who came down and laid the foundation. And one reason is, like, number one, matter of fact, you know what? Let's just even analyze the stupid shit LeBron said. Like, he thinks almost like a child. And I expect a little bit more intelligence out of LeBron than this here. Players in the 70s played the style that they played because they watched those in the 60s play. They watched them, and then they started to add on. Also, you had little rule changes and stuff like that allow you to get away with certain things you couldn't in the past. But generally, that's the way they played. You only know how to play based on what you've seen. And then you try to add on. Guys in the 50s or the 60s played the way they played because they watched guys in the 50s play. And they imitate their moves. They imitate their shots. They imitate their defense. They're being taught by those same guys, right? So their game looks the way it looks. Guys in the 50s play the way they look because they watch guys in the 40s play. Okay? So if Giannis is in the 70s, there's no such thing as a time machine. That's don't exist. Okay? As far as we know, I know some of you weirdos might think that, but that would mean Giannis would have been born in the 70s, or he'd have been born in the 60s. He would have been born in the 60s, right? So if Giannis was in the 60s, he'd be the same athlete that he is, playing the way people in the 70s played. So of course he would have never grown up to see a Charles Barkley. He would have never seen a Dirk Nowitzki. He would have never seen a LeBron James. He would have never seen a Shaq. He would have never seen guys that he imitated in order to play the way he plays now. So the whole concept a lot of you dummies come up with of, if this guy played back then, your game wouldn't look that way. It wouldn't. It would look like the guys who played back then. That's just called just using your brain. Because that's just human nature. That's the way it works. Right? So, number one, LeBron is dumb. So he wouldn't look like that. The other thing that a lot of you, a lot of you people think that's foolish and stupid is this idea that, athletes are just, they're more athletic and all of this type of stuff. That's bullshit as well. Let me tell you something, man, for real. Let's just keep it real. When we're talking about athleticism, all right, the superior athlete or the guy that has the 40-inch vertical, that runs the 4-1 or the 4, let's say 4-4, and all of that kind of stuff. These guys are rare. They're rare in the 60s. They're rare in the 70s. They're rare in the 80s. They're rare in the 90s. They're rare right now. People talk like you got 10 Anthony Edwards on every team. No, Anthony Edwards is Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is different from other guys. Jalen Green, on his team, he the only guy that's like himself on his team, right? Just like Anthony Edwards. Giannis dominates. Why? Because if everybody was just as athletic as Giannis, Giannis wouldn't dominate. The reason he dominates is because he's more athletic than the other guys, right? Zion Williamson went number one. Why? Because he's different in his athleticism. Most of the other guys aren't as athletic. Number two, the most athletic guy typically isn't always the best player. Just look at right now. Who is people saying is the best player? Well, according to the accolades and all of that, it would be Jokic, right? According to the accolades. I'm not talking about your opinion. Jokic isn't even athletic technically at all by NBA standards, right? Same thing with Luka Doncic. He out there busting all types of people's ass. 40 points here, 30 points there, 50 points there. And this dude ain't athletic at all, right? James Harden for years, busting people's ass. Steph Curry for years, busting people's ass. They're not the most athletic guys. Steph Curry is nothing of an athlete compared to Allen Iverson, who played 20 damn years ago, okay? But people would argue he's just as good a player because you can rely on other things other than just athleticism. So this whole, the guys are just more athletic thing is just stupid, right? Back in the 70s, you had Julius Erving. Julius Erving was grabbing quarters off of the top of the fucking backboard back then, right? He was athletic as hell. So, but he dominated because he's more athletic than other people. Elgin Baylor's athletic as hell, right? Those elite athletes like that are the rare guys. The guys that jump over cars and dunk and all of that. Some of y'all act like everybody's doing it. It's not like that. This is a farce, right? And I expect a guy like Colin Cowherd to say that because he's an idiot. But LeBron, no, really? LeBron is part of this new Gilbert Arenas, JJ Redick BS. Now I'm thinking, is JJ Redick like getting it from LeBron? Or LeBron getting it from Redick? Right? Redick, who couldn't even freaking dribble the ball. He talking all this shit about people back in the day. He got the nerve to think he can mess with an Isaiah Thomas or somebody like that who was dribbling with his fucking fingers, man. Like, y'all better look this stuff up, man, and see what the hell was going on. You know, like, and shout out, man, to Tim Hardaway, who went on Gilbert's Arenas and just was grilling them niggas. You know, because that's what they needed, man. And excuse me for y'all who really got a problem with the N-word or whatever. Like, y'all should understand context matters to things, right? Me saying the N-word ain't the same as like some dude on a damn plantation yelling it out to somebody out in the field, right? It's not the same thing, right? But you know, we ain't gonna talk about that. You don't like it, I'll try to avoid it, for your sake, since it bothers you so much. But I can't believe LeBron, man. I can't believe him. And that's why he won't be revered. He's going to go down as the guy that really began the downfall of the cultural aspect of the NBA. You know, he's the best player during the time of all this load management crap and all that stuff, right? So, you know, good job, bro. You know, this dude is a nut, man. And you know, I get why he got so many dudes that don't like him. You know, he's disrespectful, man. Nobody likes a disrespectful little kid that disrespects their parents and grandparents and stuff like that, disrespect those who came before him. Because LeBron's game wouldn't be what it was if he ain't watching Magic Johnson. It wouldn't be what it was if Magic wouldn't be who he was if he didn't watch a damn Earl to Pearl. That's just the way it works, bro. You know what I mean? And LeBron game wouldn't be what it was if it wasn't Larry Bird first, who many of y'all be disrespecting, and all these types of players, man. Y'all dudes, man. Y'all dudes is just weirdos, man. Y'all probably the same type of dudes that don't know your own history, man. You probably don't know, you know, what happened back in the 20s, the struggle, the 50s, the 60s. That's why we got a lot of these problems now, man. Because y'all don't know history. Y'all don't understand the impact history has on your life right now, man. And how you're supposed to thank those who came before you. Look, man. That's all I got, man. Let me get out of here, man. This is the guy, man. Peace out.